Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And I have been mech-lorded. I have been mech-lorded, chat. This is unacceptable. I decided to take one day off. One day where I don't make any videos. A federal holiday, one of my favorite federal holidays of the year, where I'm just gonna kick back, have some s'mores with my family. My little sister is in town. I was gonna have a nice day with no videos, and then Konami decided to drop a box with no leaks. Like, no one knew this was coming. It's just a box now. So I have no time. I gotta make a video in 10 minutes and record it so I can get to work. Let's get started. Okay. Destroyer of the Phantasm. This is coming tonight at 9 Eastern Time. Awesome. I'm so excited. We have some crazy cards for a mini box. Raviel, Lord of Phantasm, Shimmering Scraper. This is a Sacred Beast card. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 3 monsters. As a quick effect, you can discard this card and target the original Raviel. For the rest of the turn, its attack becomes double its current attack, and also it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. And if this card is in your graveyard, you contribute a monster to add it to your hand. Only once per turn, though, so you can't, like, use the effect to double its attack twice. But still, Raviel with 8,000 attack points and the ability to attack everything is really, really good. So don't sleep on this. This is going to be a very good card, especially with the new skill. Fright for Patchwork. Yes! I don't care that it's a UR. It deserves to be a UR. This is a fantastic card. It's limited to 3. No big deal. Add 1 Edgent monster and 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. This is going to make Fright First so much better. Wow, this is the card that we've been waiting for. Play this at 3. It is great. Abomination's Prison. Add 1 Unchained card from your deck to your hand. If this set card is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon an Unchained monster from your deck. Either card effect is amazing. Unchaineds love to have cards that they can destroy. This is probably the best card to destroy, which is why it's a UR. Yeah, this is I mean, you can use each effect once per turn, which means that it's not even a brick. Like, if you get 2 of these in your opening hand, one of them searches, the other one special summons. So, yeah, this is an easy 3 of. This is the easiest 3 I've ever seen. Opening of the Spirit Gates. When this card is activated, draw Uriah, Haman, or Raviel, or a monster that lists them in your hand. So you draw Dark Beckoning Beast or Raviel or whatever. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card to special summon a Fiend monster with 0 attack or defense from your graveyard. That can be one of the cards that you discard. So as long as you have a target in your hand, in your graveyard, you can discard another monster that has 0 attack and defense points and then revive that monster. This can be Yubel, by the way. So if you want to play Yubel, then you can play Yubel with this. It doesn't target either, so if your opponent responds to this by DD crowing, you can just choose a different unit. Once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, you can add 1 continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand. That is misspelled. Special summon 1 Fiend type monster from your graveyard. Add 1 continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand. That is misspelled, chat. You are hearing it here. You will not get this information on any other YouTube channel. Konami has misspelled graveyard twice on this card for no reason. Alright. Good card. Unchained Abomination. Link 4. I don't think this card was leaked, so no one was expecting Abomination to come. Abomination is fantastic. 2 monsters, including a Link monster. Doesn't even need any Unchained cards. 3,000 attack points. If a card on the field is destroyed by card effect, except Unchained Abomination, except during the damage step, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Excellent. So, pop a card, you get to pop another card. When another monster is destroyed by battle, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. And during the end phase, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So Unchained Abomination has 3 different destroy effects, each of them once per turn. Fantastic card. Easy enough to make. You can use your opponent's monsters to make Unchained cards. So yeah, great options. Fright for Cruel Whale. 1 Edgent monster plus 1 Fluffle monster. If this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy 1 card on both players' fields. That is not a targeted effect, so you can destroy If your opponent responds to this by removing one of their cards or destroying one of your cards, you destroy other cards. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target one fusion monster you control, send one Fright for a card from your deck to the graveyard, except Cruel Whale, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack equal to half its original attack until the end of the turn. So you just buff your Cruel Whale. Easy enough. The ground-shaking Chaos Ancient Gear Giant requires 4 Ancient Gear monsters, must be fusion summoned, cannot be special summoned by other ways, unaffected by all spells and traps. Your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects during the battle phase. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and it has piercing. What a crazy card. We got a skill for this. This is hype. We're going to play Ancient Gears. We're going to play Perform Mage. I will get this card. I will play this card. You guys have no idea how much I've been looking forward to this. Dennis, we're ready. Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. Oh, cool. You banish one level 7 monster from your hand or face up on your side of the field to draw one card. Draw 2 cards. You can only activate one Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars per turn. So this is trade-in for Dark Magician. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, they're intending for us to play it in Buster Blader. That makes sense. Let's see. We're getting Edy Scythe. Edy Scythe lets Frightfur's fusion summon during the opponent's turn, which is excellent. That will allow you to trigger Fright for Cruel Whale during your opponent's turn, so you can pop other cards. Unchained Twins Aruha, Unchained Twins Rakea. Good. Protector Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. This is a link monster that lets you send a Destruction Sword card from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can special summon a Buster Blader from your hand. And at the end of your battle phase, if your opponent controls no monsters, you can target one Buster Blader monster you control that did not declare an attack this turn. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to half that monster's attack once. So this is, if you guys don't know, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman can't attack directly. So this card was created because people were just simply not summoning anything against Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, and then Dragon Destroyer Swordsman was just sitting there as a floodgate that couldn't win the game. So this link monster will allow you to win the game if your opponent just ignores your board. Celaglare, the Luminous Lunar Dragon. Cool. This card came out a while ago as a selection box card. I think it was due to be printed at some point. You can normal summon this card without attributing, but its original attack becomes 1500. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card. Return this card to the hand, and if you do, take control of that opponent's monster until the end phase. This has 2400 attack and 1000 defense as a level 6, so it is a Monarch statted card, therefore it can be played in Monarch decks. Excellent. Fallin Paradise is a rare? Let's go! Your opponent cannot target Uriah, Haman, or Raviel, or Armor Tile with card effects. Also, those monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. And if you control Uriah, Raviel, Haman, or Armor Tile, you can draw 2 cards. I activate my field spell, Pot of Greed! This is searchable. This is excellent. I knew this card was going to get printed because the new skill did not reference Fallin Paradise at all. The fact that it's a rare, excellent. Let's go. Sacred Beast is going to be so much fun. Cerulean Skyfire. To special summon Haman using its own procedure, you can also use face-down cards you control. Once per turn, while you control an attack position Haman, you can negate any spell or trap effect activated by your opponent. Then you change one Haman you control to defense position. If they face up Uriah, Haman, or Raviel leaves the field, you take no damage this turn. Interesting. The problem is that the first effect will not work because we only have 3 spells and trap zones. So this is like intended for you to be able to summon Haman and then just like keep the Cerulean Skyfire on the field. But that wouldn't be an option because you would have to use the Cerulean Skyfire since it's only one of 3 continuous spells. Instead, we're probably just going to use the skill to summon Haman, and then this card will just be using the spell or trap negate, which is excellent. Fright for Kraken. 1 Edgemp plus 1 Fluffle. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. So it's a semi-Dingirsu. You do have to target, but it still just sends it to the graveyard, which is excellent. This card cannot attack directly the turn this effect is activated. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and once per turn at the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, you can change this card to defense position. Great, so you just get to slice and dice your opponent's monsters, then switch to 3000 defense. Great. Dangerous Fright for Nightmare. 1 Edgemp monster plus 2 Fluffle monsters, 2000 attack, 3000 defense. Gains 300 attack for each fairy and fiend monster in your graveyard during your turn only. When this fusion summon card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can send one Fright, Fluffle, and or Agent monster from your deck to the graveyard equal to the original level of the destroyed monster, so that will buff its attack points. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card on the field, as a quick effect, you can banish one Fright monster from your extra deck to negate that effect, and that is not once per turn. So you can just keep banishing Fright monsters from your extra deck to prevent cards or effects that target this card on the field. It does not destroy the card, though, it just negates it. Interesting. Fluffle Penguin. During your main phase, you can special summon one Fluffle monster from your hand, except Penguin. That's excellent. So this is a way that Fluffles can easily access Xyz and Link monsters, which is what they need. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion monster, you can draw 2 cards and discard a card. So it's Liquid Soldier. Liquid Soldier is really good. Fluffle Penguin does have to be on the field. Or no it doesn't. It's card sent to the graveyard. Yeah, so this is literally just Liquid Soldier. That's excellent. Unchained Soul of Rage, 2 monsters including an Unchained monster. During your opponent's main phase, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one Dark Link monster, except Unchained Soul of Rage, by using only that monster and this card you control as material. So if your opponent summons a Link 2, then you can immediately link those 2 off into Abomination. Or a Link 3, because you can just treat this card as a Link 1. If this card on the field is destroyed by a battle or a card effect, you can start one Fiend monster in the graveyard, except Unchained Soul of Rage, and add it to your hand. Unchained Soul of Anguish. This is a Link 3. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one Dark Link monster by using only that opponent's monster and this card as material. If this card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can target one Fiend monster in the graveyard and add it to your hand. This is a Link 3, but its effect is not a quick effect. So you make this card on your turn, and then you can use an opponent's monster to make the Abomination. So either you're going to use a Link 3 and your opponent's monster to make Abomination on your turn, or you use a Link 2 and one of your opponent's Link 2s to make a Unchained Abomination on their turn. Either way, completely fine. You probably also would put Nightmare Unicorn in your deck, because that's a Dark Link 3 that has an effect that activates when it's summoned even during the opponent's turn. And that way, if your opponent only doesn't play any Link monsters, you can use Unchained Soul of Rage to just go into Nightmare Unicorn. Unchained Soul of Disaster. This doesn't have a way to special summon itself from the hand, so it's a card that gets special summoned from the deck. Abominable Unchained Soul. If a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can discard one card, destroy one card on the field. Unchained Twins Sarama. Toy Parade. This card is always treated as a Fright for a card. Target one Dark monster you control, special summon for the extra deck. For the rest of the turn, you cannot declare attacks except with that monster. Also, each time that monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, it can attack again in a row. So that is intended to be used with the dangerous Fright for Nightmare, because each time it destroys a monster by battle, it can mill a card, get more attack points. If you control a fairy monster, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one level 4 or lower dark monster from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use one Toy Parade effect per turn, only once that turn. It's an interesting card. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that Fright Fur needs it. Escape of the Unchained. Target one Unchained monster you control, one card on the field, destroy both. If the set card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your deck. Right? More ways to just special summon from the deck. Let's see. Ancient Year Wyvern. This was in a structure deck only, so now people who don't have the structure deck can get Ancient Year Wyvern. Cool. Ancient Year Frame. Fluffle Dolphin. You can target one Toy Vendor in your graveyard, set it, and if you do, send one Fluffle monster or one Agent Sabers from your deck to the graveyard. Toy Vendor is not a quick play spell, so you can activate it the turn it's set. If this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion summon, you can shuffle it into the deck one of your fusion spells or polymerization spells that is banished or in your graveyard. Great. Fright for Jar. This is bad. Fright for Repair. Target one Fright for a fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck. Special summon one Fright Fluffle or Agent monster from your graveyard. That's interesting. A little situational. Wailing of the Unchained Soul. If you link summon an Unchained Link monster, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. If the set card is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your deck. Ooh, I mean, that's not as good of a normal effect as the other ones, but it is a very good set card effect. So, I don't know, you probably would still play this at 1. Intruder Alarm, Yellow Alert. When an opponent monster declares an attack, special summon one monster from your hand, but return it to the hand at the end of the battle phase. Begone Nave. If a monster inflicts battle damage to a player, return that monster to the owner's hand. Apparently this is like a limited card now. Not that good. And then just a bunch of cards I've never heard of. None of these really stand out. Cloak and Dagger. Half Unbreak and Hollow No. So yeah, these are just reprints. Okay, there you go. There's the box. We're also getting, okay, so Intruder Alarm, Yellow Alert is limit 1, Begone Nave is limit 1, Fright for Patchwork is limit 3, and we are also getting Stellar Wind Will Fray It, which is just a crazy good card. And I don't have a way to look it up on screen. Hold on. It's a really, really funny card. Hold on, let me pull a copy of it up for you guys. Let's see. If you are a Synchro player like me, you are going to be excited. Stellar Wind Will Fray It. Level 9 Wind Beast Synchro monster requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners. You can only control 1 Stellar Wind Will Fray It. It has 2500 attack normally. Gains 300 attack each time another monster's effect is activated while the attack of this card is less than 4000. So it can gain attack up to 5 times. Once per turn, if this card's attack is 4000 or higher, as a quick effect, you can shuffle both this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. So if your opponent if you make this card on your turn, you pass your opponent, then during your opponent's turn, your opponent can activate up to 5 monster effects. After they've done so, you can just immediately activate this card to just shuffle the entire field into your opponent's deck. So your opponent has essentially, it has no protection, it has no negates. Your opponent essentially has 4 monster effects worth of cards to get Will Fray It off the field, or they lose. Now, it's also your monster effects, so you could potentially use some other monster effects on your turn to potentially get like Will Fray It maybe up to like 3100. So your opponent only has 3 monster effects before you can start shuffling. You could use hand traps on your opponent's turn, like Effect Veiler, to surprise them and like add an additional 300 attack points to your Will Fray It. So yeah, this is this is gonna be fun. I am looking forward to this. This could actually make Stardust Charge Warrior a playable card in Speedroids for once. People play Stardust Charge Warrior in Speedroids all the time. I say it's bad because a 6 is not useful to you in any meaningful way. But if we have a level 9 Synchro that's generic and wind, now we're talking. Now you can take Stardust Charge Warrior and like a Speedroid Car Turbo and go into Will Fray It. Now we're talking. Now this could be an actually like good card. So so it's possible that Stardust Charge Warrior becomes a staple in good Speedroid decks moving forward. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.